Okay.
Hi everyone. Wanna wait? Hi everyone. We're back. We're so happy to be making lunch with you again today. We're making Mediterranean pasta with sun-dried tomatoes and artichokes and whatever we had in our fridge. So feel free to do the same when you're making this at home. I think in my recipe I had broccolini, which is not available right now. So we're using broccoli, and we had some fresh spinach, so we're going to use that. And if you don't have fresh basil, because that's not really in season right now, you can use parsley or dried basil. So basically we're just going to use what we have. We're also going to put sun-dried tomatoes instead of fresh tomatoes, capers, but you could use olives if you prefer. And then we're going to use a little bit of onion and garlic. But first, to get started, we're going to start making our pasta. So let's get that in right away. Got some bow tie pasta. I made some gluten-free pasta for myself earlier because I'm a gluten-free person. And so the way we deal with that at home is oftentimes we'll just make everything gluten-free. But since we barely have any gluten-free pasta right now, because of the shortages in the store, we just made a little bit for me, and then Nelson and Izzy are going to have the regular pasta. And what we'll do is we'll set aside some of the toppings to put on mine, and we'll put the rest with the regular pasta. So we just want to make sure we stir this to make sure that it's not going to stick to the bottom. And then we'll put it to the side. We're going to put it on the kitchen burner. And then let's get started with our veggie prep. Can you cut the broccoli, Izzy? And cut the florets, and you can also cut the stem because it's already been trimmed a little. Okay, had to make sure that I had the stove set not too high so it wouldn't overflow. So what we're going to do is make kind of like a chunky sauce, or maybe what you would call toppings for this pasta dish. And I'd be very interested to know what you're wanting to learn about. Like maybe there are certain ingredients that you've stocked up on that you're not sure what to do with. Go ahead and write those in the comments or send me a message if you prefer, and we'll try to cover that in these noontime sessions. We're going to try to do one of these lunch sessions every day, try to keep to about 30 minutes or less. We don't take up too much of anybody's time, and then we can all eat our lunch by 12:30 or 1. But yeah, let me know. Each day, the way I've been coming up with these menus is just kind of looking at my pantry, looking at my fridge, and saying, oh, I wonder what we could make for lunch tomorrow that I could show everybody. And so I was thinking about doing something with the collard leaves that I got in my CSA box yesterday, but I decided instead forgot about the olive oil. Decided instead to do a pasta dish. I knew Izzy would like that. I had a recipe for it on my blog, and I've never really demonstrated this one before. So looks like I'm putting a ton of olive oil, but it's just that not very much comes out of this narrow spout. I've been using this unfiltered olive oil, extra virgin olive oil from Sicily that I really like. It's just trial and error, I think, with olive oil, finding the ones that you really love. The most important thing is that it smells good. It doesn't smell rancid.
It also shouldn't taste like super sour. Cause like I've never had before with like other olive oils.
So it should taste delicious, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it tastes so bitter that you think maybe there's something wrong with this. Thank you, Izzy. I'm gonna put a little salt in. I usually put salt in with my pasta, but I'm running low on salt and I want to make sure I can get some more at the store before I dump a tablespoon of salt into my pasta water and have to drain it out. So it is interesting how you think about conserving things. Like, I love garlic a little bit too much, I think. And I was going to put 4 big cloves, and then I thought, you know what, I could use 3. Then we'll have another one left over for another meal.
There's no such thing as loving garlic too much.
Okay, let me wipe off your board a little. Would you like to chop the garlic? Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Nelson's been doing the
Nelson,
behind the scenes camera and lights, and we're figuring out as we go what works and doesn't work. So we really appreciate the teamwork. So we got our onions sauteing with a pinch of sea salt. We'll add our garlic next. And then, let's see, got some spinach, got some broccoli. I think I'm actually going to add the broccoli. Sometimes I put this in with the pasta water, maybe in the last few minutes of cooking. I'll put the broccoli in the pasta water because then the broccoli will kind of blanch. But I think we've got enough time that we can saute it. I'm breaking some of these up a little smaller to make sure that they're going to cook in time. If you have a big family like some friends of ours do, you're going to need a much bigger pan to do this. We did 2 small heads of broccoli. This depends on the size of your family. If you're cooking for yourself, you might want to make enough for 2 meals at least. I don't really like to make more than that because then it's not fresh anymore. The other thing you can do is you can make extra pasta and just make extra fresh veggies as you go when you're using up the leftover pasta, and that way you don't get tired of it. You can vary it each day. And with this pasta dish, if you wanted to, you could add a protein like some cooked white beans or some cooked chicken right at the end just to warm it up a little bit. Emma's saying hello. Hi, Emma.
I am sad.
Saute that, Izzy? So I just added some water to steam the broccoli a bit. And next, I guess I'll chop some of the spinach. The stems are a little tough. You can cut the stems off. Otherwise, you can leave them on. So I'd be very interested to know either in the comments or in a personal message what's been going on with you. Are you still working? Are you out of work? Are you working from home? What are your kids up to? Or if you are a kid, get in touch because Izzy might want to do a FaceTime chat with you. It is a different situation now to be home and not able to go to a lot of places and see people. So we are very interested in how you're doing, and hopefully we'll give you some ideas about what you can make at home. If you don't have broccoli or spinach, Izzy, what do you think you could put in for a green veggie? I'm going to put in some artichokes.
Zucchini.
I was thinking the same thing. You could put zucchini.
I don't know.
Any kind of green, like kale, or Swiss chard, arugula,
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. We've done that before with pasta. I should have waited till the last minute to put the spinach in, just an FYI. I wasn't really thinking and I put it in right away, and it's already getting a little mushy.
It's okay.
But it's okay. Would you put the sun-dried tomatoes? We chopped some sun-dried tomatoes ahead of time because they were packed in oil and they were going to be a bit messy on our board, so we chopped those up. But pretty much everything else we are prepping real time, so I think this meal is going to come together really fast. This is one of those meals that we typically will make for dinner when we don't have a lot of time. Because in about 15 minutes, while you're cooking the pasta, you'll have your sauce done. Oh, could you grate some cheese? Were you just thinking of that? So, another thing we're going to put in is capers. If you don't have capers, you could use olives, like a Kalamata olive or some kind of green olive. Or you can just leave it out and maybe put some fresh herbs for flavor instead. We are almost done with the cooking part. I hear the timer for our... Could you check that for us, Nelson? It's the pasta. I put the pasta on, I think, for 8 minutes. I'm not sure though, it might have been 10. And then it's always good to check it. Just take a piece out and see if you can bite through it. Hopefully it's not mushy, but if you can kind of bite through it, it's not too tough, then it's called al dente and you can drain it.
No, grab a piece.
Izzy's gonna test it for us. Ooh.
Sorry,
Thanks for throwing it on me.
it escaped.
So you could put a little bit of chicken stock in here or vegetable stock if you want it to be a little bit more watery, like more like a sauce. Or you can just use the cheese and the olive oil. I'm gonna put a little more olive oil in ours.
This Parmesan is from Whole Foods? Yeah.
That's Izzy's favorite Parmesan.
It's probably enough Parmesan.
Julie.
It's called Parmesan Mitica, and I looked up what that meant once, and now I can't remember.
Julie, if you're watching this, you're probably laughing because of the cheese.
Our hearts go out for all the people in Italy right now.
Yes, and Nelson was saying our hearts go out to all the people in Italy, and I've actually been trying to buy as much stuff as I can that is Italian, thinking maybe somehow that will help people there. I know there's just so many people that are affected by either deaths in their family or just the lack of tourism and not being able to go outside their homes, and we know that it's just a very tragic situation over there, and it's possible that that will happen to us too, and we're hoping that we can do things now to prevent things getting so bad. Are you going to taste test that, Izzy? Was the pasta done, Nelson?
No.
So needed a few more minutes.
So I'd be interested to know what some of your favorite Italian recipes are. I love risotto. That's a big comfort food for me, even though I didn't grow up eating it. Whenever I learned how to make it, it definitely became one of my favorite comfort foods. So as soon as I can get some arborio rice, we'll make risotto during the lunchtime video. Another thing I thought about making is some homemade beans. Like maybe tomorrow we'll make some chickpeas. Those are super versatile because you can use them for a curry. You can use them for,
Whipped cream.
yeah, you can use the cooking liquid to make aquafaba, which can make meringues or whipped cream or mayonnaise, fabanaise they call it. And you can also use chickpeas. I think I said hummus. You can roast them to put on top of salads. So everybody loves chickpeas, I think. And I want to show you a way of making beans that is super delicious. You'll never want a can of beans ever again, probably, if you can help it, because homemade beans made the correct way so that they're digestible and flavorful. There's just no comparison. So let's do that tomorrow. We'll make a pot of beans and we'll think of something else to make with the beans as well. I've got a pressure cooker. A lot of you probably have pressure cookers or Instant Pots. You can use those to make your beans. You can also just boil the beans. It just takes longer. So I think the pasta's ready. I'm going to save some of this filling for my gluten-free pasta. This is a small spoon. And the rest of this we'll put with the other
You want this in there?
pasta. Yep. Just some of it. We'll put enough just for today's meal in here. Is that about right?
Very good.
Okay. So would you like to stir that up, Liz? Why don't you stand up so you can face the... We'll add some fresh basil. You want to show a close-up of
Yeah.
this? Then I'm going to go get some bowls. This might be our quickest meal so far, huh?
Yeah.
We make this in 15 minutes, maybe? Pretty amazing. So, could you give us that big spoon, Nelson, to serve this? And I'm going to go get the gluten-free pasta. Here you go, Izzy. Serve one up for you and Nelson. Save some of this pasta for another dish. And if you have tongs is a good way to toss together the ingredients also, because it won't break everything apart. You don't really want to stir it, you just want to kind of toss it together. Need a little extra olive oil. If you do have fresh tomatoes, you can add those at the end so that they're nice and fresh, and they'll be very bright red, and I think you'll love this with fresh tomatoes as well. You want to show that close up over
I
there?
put a lot of cheese on it.
Has a lot of cheese.
So thank you so much for being with us today. It cheers us up so much knowing that we're going to be together at the noon hour. And I'm so happy that Izzy's helping me and making me feel like I'm not alone in this, right? All right, so let us know how it goes. We've got the recipe posted. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll post it again. And we'll be thinking of you, and please keep in touch. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bon appetito.
Bye.